delegation to attend the summit without Trump's direct participation, and lastly, ensure that further security preparations for the summit are in full compliance with Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms, including Section 2B. Okay. So not only did CJFE want to ban Trump, they wanted to plan the whole summit, basically, deciding who gets in and who does what and on exactly what terms. Since when is it a journalist's job to do that? But they didn't just want their Trump ban to cover the G7 summit. CJFE wants it to be a permanent thing, claiming that admitting Trump for any reason, occasion, summit, or state visit presents a threat to Canadian values of pluralism and inclusion. Banning people based on political differences to be inclusive. Do they even hear themselves? I have a Roomba robot vacuum cleaner running around the house that's more self-aware than CJFE. Anyway, censorship of any kind on anyone is revolting, but there's a silver lining in all of this. But for a moment, journalists from all sides of the political spectrum and everywhere in between were united in just how stupid CJFE's petition really was. It was a hilarious post-Christmas miracle. Here's the National Post's Chris Selly calling CJFE idiots. Here's the Toronto Sun's Laurie Goldstein saying it's disappointing that any media organization thinks this is a proper role for journalists. CBC's George Baker called it an obvious example of not staying in your lane. Columnist Susan Delacourt also said she doesn't understand how the petition has anything to do with journalistic freedom or free expression. So CJFE overestimated just how much their journalistic peers and everyday Canadians dislike Donald Trump. As in, it isn't as much as they thought it was, and it certainly wasn't enough to throw our Canadian values in the garbage can and expect our dim-witted Ken doll of a prime minister to cause a diplomatic catastrophe with our best geopolitical ally. Major miscalculation there. Even left-wing journalists from the state broadcaster don't hate Donald Trump more than they love free speech. So CJFE yanked their petition down. They censored their own attempt at censorship. Then they issued a statement, which has also been pulled off their website, for a group claiming they are fighting for accountability and transparency. They sure like to memory hole things that don't make them look so great so that other journalists like me can't hold them accountable. Seems legit. But not to worry, we already had an email transcript of their statement, and it really is something else. CJFE says that they weren't trying to censor the President of the United States because you apparently can't censor the President of the United States because he's powerful or something. Gotcha. But this is from their statement. On January 15th, our staff drafted and shared a petition calling on Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to keep U.S. President Donald Trump out of Canada. The goal was to force Trudeau to grapple with Trump's egregious year-old war against the press. We believe Trump's actions have emboldened authoritarian leaders around the world and continue to lead to a general erosion of safety for journalists and public confidence in the press. We shared the petition because we legitimately believe that Canada's diplomatic actions should be consistent with promoting and supporting press freedom internationally. There is a very real need for Canada to use all available channels, including diplomatic pressures